and the bigger end kind of decks, where Nicholas has, for example, Flint Hoof Boar and Loxodon Smiter.
Now, in the background, there appears to be a beast hanging out.
Yeah.
I also have seen a dinosaur hanging around the room at different points.
Yes, they were playing in the tournament earlier.
Now, so we've got Ed Womble here with Colonel Muster, and the opponent is not a Naya mid-range list. The opponent is actually a Naya aggro list.
Yeah. That's actually, yeah, there we go. Ed's on the right there.
There we go. And you can tell the difference in this because things like Flint Hoof Boar, Loxodon Smiter and Boros Reckoner, that drop on the 3 where he can actually be attacking very aggressively. Now, Flint Hoof Boar, yes, it's technically a 2-casting cost spell, but I feel like more often than not we see it at the 3.
Well, it's basically a split card. You can either cast it as Watchwolf, just a 3/3 for 2, or you can cast it as Boggart Ram Gang, 3/3 haste.
I like thinking of it as a kicker card.
Fair enough.
But either way, same difference really. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
Flint Hoof Boar really the only one of the Kurd creatures to see play so far out of the cycle of 5.
I like that you call it a Kurd creature rather than a Loam Lion creature.
Yeah. Well, the alliteration.
Kurd creature? I agree. Alliteration is useful.
I would like to see at least one of the other ones start seeing some play. Crimson Muckwader was seeing play for about half a second.
I believe that we saw Sam Black running that in a black-red aggro list along with what is the current kind of incarnation of the New York-Madison connection. I believe that that New York connection, that's the John Finkel, Sam Black, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
The Pro Tour testing team?
Yeah, I think that you can blame Godenis Vitagouris for that one because he's very good friends with Sam Black. Then he moved from Madison to New York. And a lot of players have gone back and forth between New York and Madison, but then it was just, I think, a match made in heaven in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that team, SCG team, is full of very smart people, many of which are lawyers, randomly. But
well, lawyers can be smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just interesting to me that they all have basically the same profession. A lot of them are lawyers or like stockbrokers. So we're going to get underway here. Ed is going to lead things off with a Stomping Ground. Nicholas begins with a Sun Petal Grove. That is not typically what you want to be doing with your first land drop for the turn, because that doesn't allow your other buddy lands to come into play untapped.
Yeah.
Ed is going to play 2 life to Farseek.
And Nicholas only has 5 1-mana accelerators, so it's not exciting or ideal to lay a Sun Petal Grove, but he also does not have all that many ways to accelerate. However, I think his hand has at least 2 of those kinds of creatures.
Yeah, I think his hand is 2 Avacyn's Pilgrim and then 2 more buddy lands. And there's another one, there's a Rootbound Crag. Ed looks like he's going to be able to play a turn 3 Huntmaster of the Fells.
Ouch. Now, for an aggressive deck, a Huntmaster on such an early turn is just devastating. If you look at Nicholas Hoppesch's list, like, you obviously don't have it in front of you, but we do. In order to bring that back, he's going to need to follow up with a very quick Smiter or Reckoner really fast.
Yeah. Being on the draw and having to just play an Arbor Elf as his turn for turn 3, very bad for him. As you can see in Nicholas's hand, he's got the Clifftop Retreat, several 3-drops.
There's the Reckoner we
Boros
talked
Reckoner.
about. And look at that, comes into play tapped ×3. I believe that there was a name for these land way back in the day, and they didn't really see much play.
Yeah, Coastal Towers.
Yes.
I remember playing a Saltmarsh.
Usually ×1.
Usually.
Because you really needed the mana.
Yeah,
and
Thragtusk is a much better Magic card, though.
Thragtusk comes out. Yeah, I think that we used to call those crap duels.
So Nicholas has Domery in hand if he wants to try to 2-for-1 Thragtusk and Boros Reckoner. That's one option he can go for here. I think that's what's going to happen. So Domery likely is going to have Reckoner fight Oh, the Huntmaster. The trigger is going to take out the wolf. That's a good way to do that. I like it.
Thragtusk still sticking around, but with that white mana from Avacyn's Pilgrim, Boros Reckoner can first strike it.
Now, unfortunately, because of the way we... Oh, there's an Assemble the Legion from Ed Womble.
Oh, that is so scary.
Put some ketchup on his mustard.
Domri ticks up. Does he find anything? We'll see in a second. Does not find anything.
There are 27 creatures in Nicholas Hoppesch's deck, so Domri going to hit about slightly less than half the time. And he's also got a mitt full of creatures, so he can realistically expect for that to not be quite as good as Jace Beleriand, but...
Attack with Boros Reckoner.
So Nicholas knows that he has to get things underway because there's no way he's going to be able to beat that Assemble the Legion once it starts going.
Yep, I think we might see... Okay, a second Reckoner.
Nicholas,
and then another follow-up creature. That's another Pilgrim.
Nicholas only has one main deck answer to Assemble the Legion, and that is a Singleton Oblivion Ring. He can go over the top of it with Thundermaw Hellkite. He can try to fight it with Thragtusks, but eventually those little guys.
One of the plays that was open to him last turn was casting a Thragtusk of his own instead of the Boros Reckoner. But one of the problems with that is that the Legion token plus the Thragtusk could easily just basically force... the Thragtusk from Ed comes on in, attacking Domri. Nicholas would be tapped down and thus be forced to block Thragtusk with Thragtusk.
Yeah, I think I like
this. This is a better line of play.
Yeah, much better. I think that you could realistically expect... Well, he's not going to fight with Domri this turn. He wants to keep that guy in play.
Domri whiffs again. Ticks up, though.
I think that you could realistically expect the Thragtusk to be held off for even yet another turn to try to get the haste from Flinthoof Boar going. I wouldn't hate that.
I'm not sure. There's what you were talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Because I think that he does need to be the most aggressive possible that he can be, and just playing a Thragtusk isn't going to solve that for him.
And we see
at least gets some damage in.
We see the chump block from the Boros Legionnaire, or the Boros, the soldier of Boros.
So 3 damage is going to come in. Boros Reckoner is going to be able to deal 1 damage to Ed, and that's going to be it, other than the land drop for Nicholas, who still has a Thragtusk as his last card in hand. Ed working from Hellbent status.
Yeah, that's tapped. His sleeve, I believe, caught the Boros Reckoner. And untapped it. If I remember correctly, I saw it tapped in attack, but I think his sleeve literally untapped that.
It certainly did. Ed is going to be able to make another... He's going to make 2 guys next turn. At which point, the Assemble the Legion token... Oh, and we also have a beast that we forgot about. Or that I forgot about.
Well, I was actually... trying to figure out what had happened there, but
we were just waiting on the counters.
There is sometimes a slight delay in these things because the judge is usually handing these over to them.
Ed was checking for Bonfire of the Damned there.
A second Assemble the Legion.
Wow.
Okay, Nicholas could be in some trouble.
We're assembling some legions, is what's happening. That's awesome.
Chump from Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Yeah, Nicholas really gotta... Yeah, that's not gonna do it. The Thragtusk is just gonna get stonewalled now. I think that I liked I personally like the Flinthoof Boar play a lot. The way that the game turned out, it just didn't matter.
Well, I mean, the game is not over yet. The Boros Reckoners from Nicholas can finish this game. Next turn, we're going to see 4 hasty 1/1 soldiers coming from Ed.
Yeah, and Ed has to hope that things like oh, I don't know, Restoration Angel or Thundermaw Hellkite don't come his way, because you're right. Those Boros Reckoners are still going to be able to force through damage even by just attacking.
Here they come. And
one of the best Minotaur wizards ever printed, I think.
I think it's fair to say one of the best Minotaurs ever printed.
Yep.
Maybe one, not the best, but certainly up there in the wizard count as well.
Yeah, not too bad.
Thragtusk follows suit. Ed Womble takes 2 damage from the redirection of Boros Reckoners. And 25-14, we're going to see 3 soldiers and 1 soldier from the Assemble the Legion. Yep. And things have just gotten to that point where it is about to get out of control.
Yeah, it's Nicholas does have many ways to win here, though. These Assembled Legions are going to be a little awkward, but 4 Mizium Mortars are in Nicholas's main deck, as well as Thundermaw Hellkite to fly over everything. So it's not quite, nothing's over yet. So
Nicholas
swung in a little bit there. I'm a little confused as to why he decided to swing.
Domre, he was going after Domre.
Oh, he went after Domre.
And the block there was a Pilgrim to chump the Beast and a Thragtusk eating 1 soldier. And then Ed has a Thragtusk, which is actually incredibly powerful right now because that extra life. Nicholas was just hoping to kill this game before the Assembled Legion took over.
Yep.
5 life is just devastating.
Absolutely. That was a really good top deck for Ed, and especially in this point of the game. Thragtusk obviously good at all points.
My goodness gracious me. Now, he has to time the use of this Mizium Mortars to the right time. I don't think now is the right time.
Yeah, he's got Mizium Mortars. That's a great one right now. I think that it's entirely possible we get a fight first, followed by a Mizium Mortars. Or
I actually think he's going to hold off a turn or 2.
He could just attack.
Oh,
nope, he's
I
just
could be wrong. There we go.
Go.
Boom. Mizium Mortars with overload. The team goes away. A beast is left behind.
And so now, I think now you're probably going to see a fight of one kind or another. What I would probably do here, because you don't want to lose a Reckoner.
Fight Thragtusk versus Beast?
I think we would fight Thragtusk versus Beast, attack for 6. Is what I'd probably do here. The other option being fighting Boros Reckoner to just get 3 damage in, which I don't like very much. Or using Domri to look at the top card to hope to get a creature. Domri's dying next turn.
Domri is not long for this world. And we do... He's like, where's that beast from? Well, there's a Thragtusk that died.
Yep. Yeah, I think that Mizium Mortars might have been a little hasty, but you know what? He was in the mindset of, I have to kill immediately.
Boom. Look at this. Ed Womble able to get a block that will kill a Boros Reckoner.
Now, the way that attack worked, though, it did get 8 damage in, which was more damage than our lines of play would have gotten in.
Plus 3 from the trigger.
Plus 3 from the trigger.
That's 11 damage.
So that'll put Ed down to 8, I believe.
And Domri Rod still has not ticked or done anything.
Yeah, that's going to draw a card almost, or try to draw a card, unless he doesn't remember that he has it still. But Ed's going to be able to put in 6 humans.
Hasty humans.
Hasty humans. Very tight game. Nicholas trying to find a way to get past these assemble tokens.
Well, one thing he could try doing here is having his Thragtusk later in the game, if it can survive, he could have it fight his Boros Reckoner.
Now, is he able to target his own creature with Domri?
I actually don't know. I need to see the Domri Rod in play.
That would be a pretty good play if you could do that.
Here come 6 guys.
There's Domri. Target creature you control fights another target creature.
That's what I thought.
You absolutely could.
Dead Domri.
Domri dies.
2 guys hang back. Now remember, every turn Ed
Oh
Womble...
my.
Oh my god! Off the top, a Thragtusk.
That's the third Thragtusk off the top, I think.
Oh, I think it was only the second off the top.
Sure.
But either way, off the top.
Pretty good.
Devastation. And Nicholas.
Good work if you can get it.
I think Nicholas was in not terrible shape there because not in good shape, certainly, but the Boros Reckoner, having his opponent at 8 life, he could have been essentially getting at least a little plink of damage a turn. But now that Thragtusk just ends it. So we see chump chump, and 1 damage is triggered, and now Nicholas has to decide where he's dealing that 1. I don't think he can afford to deal it to a soldier. I think he has to go to the dome and hope something changes.
And hope that Thundermaw Hellkite or something like that comes off the top.
And we see a Domri Rod in his hand.
Another Domri, but it's not gonna do anything just yet. This is gonna be,
oh my god,
8?
Yeah, 8.
It's a good thing we brought so many of these tokens. They've been getting a workout. More of a workout today than that token box has ever gotten in its existence here at SCG Live.
In. Look at that attack. 1, 2. That's a lot.
That's going to be 14 damage.
Right. Nicholas Hoppesch down to 11. 1 turn away. Not many cards he could draw.
Yeah, at this point, I think the Thundermaw Hellkite's a little late if he were to draw it. Mizium Mortars is pretty much all he can hope for.
No mortars.
No mortars, just a forest. I think that is it. Next turn, Ed is going to be able to make 11 more guys. Nicholas does not have Fog in the main deck.
Domri Rod.
There it is.
Ed clearly having a lot of fun. Domri reveals Smiter. Okay.
We're going to put up a fight.
The thing that Nicholas needs to have happen now is Ed to make a mistake. It does not happen. And Nicholas redirects 1 of the damage to a Legionnaire, or one of the soldiers, follows up with a Smiter, and Nicholas can only live if Ed attacks Domri.
Yep. 10 soldiers are coming in. Nicholas sees the writing on the wall. He's just going to go ahead and...
Oh, look at the smile from Ed. There we go.
Nice little wave at the
Hi,
camera.
Mom.
That's well done. That's many soldiers were assembled there.
It's funny, Assemble the Legion is one of those cards that when it was first when I was first playing with it and against it, many of us that were at that pre-release actually played it wrong a few different times, because it's sort of like the first time that I remember seeing, Verdant Force, which creates a Saproling every turn for 8 mana.
Right.
It's like a 7/7 creature. At that very first pre-release a million years ago, a ton of people were like, oh yeah, every player gets a Saproling every turn.
Oh god.
Every other, yeah, I get one on my turn, you get one on your turn.
Right.
Because you couldn't imagine it would be so good.
Yeah.
And Assemble the Legion, I know a lot of people thought, oh yeah, you get soldiers, they have to attack.
Right.
Because it couldn't be so good that you would just build up these guys. No, you don't have to attack.
Nope.
Just get a 1/1 red and white hasty soldier into play.
That's right.
If you want to attack, attack. If you want to defend, defend.
Yeah, Goblin Assault has never been so good.
It's correct. That's correct.
So looking at sideboards now, Nicholas is going to be on the play after the sideboards. He has 2 Blasphemous Act.
Ouch.
Which, while not wonderful, certainly would have helped, at least for a turn in that match.
He would have killed Ed Womble with it.
He certainly would have with the Boros Reckoners. So I think that's actually probably coming in, not only to deal with the assembling of the Legion, but also in order to finish off Ed. I see Triumph of Ferocity. That is a possibility, but in a Thragtusk mirror, that's never a guarantee. He also has Oblivion Ring. I would expect that to come in. So and the rest of the things in here I don't find nearly as impressive. Near Hearth Pilgrim, Boros Charm, unless he wants to try to go infinite with Near Hearth Pilgrim and Boros Charm. he also has Rest in Peace and Ground Seal, which are not relevant in this matchup.
I think that for Ed looks to be somebody that is like a lot of energy, really excitable. When you crush somebody so bad with Assemble the Legion, and then you've got Assemble the Legion in your board, I predict Ed is just going to bring in some more Assemble the Legions. But aside from that, he is in a Thragtusk fight, and Garruk Primal Hunter is one of the best cards in a Thragtusk fight, so I expect he will also bring in Garruk Primal Hunter. Then finally, he's dealing with a lot of big creatures. Now, Mizium Mortars is not exciting against a Boros Reckoner, but what it is nice against is something like a Smiter or a Restoration Angel, things like that he can expect. I would expect to see that be a possibility.
Absolutely. I think that Mizium Mortars, he saw Flinthoof board, he saw Loxodon Smiter. It's not exciting against Reckoner, but it certainly does the trick.
Yeah.
You know, it prevents you from getting Blasphemous acted, for example. So I think that Mizium Mortars is going to come in. I'm not sure if he brings in Oblivion Rings. He did see Domri Raid. But he can almost certainly attack the Domri Raid, either by attacking or just ignoring it. It didn't really do a ton for Nicholas that game other than show him what was coming for the 3 turns in a row. So I think that you're right. Ed brings in the other Assemble the Legions, which not only is it a choice that he's going to make because he is riding the high of that, but also because Nicholas just has very few ways to deal with a resolved Assemble the Legion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that Ed Womble does not have the luxury of is knowing what we do, perfect information, the deck list. There are certainly cards like Oblivion Ring that Nicholas might have in his sideboard, but these days a lot of people are not running much in the way of enchantment removal, period.
Absolutely, yeah. So, not nearly as many Ray of Rest or Ray of Revelations.
Yep. Various kinds of naturalize effects, whatever
Sundering Growth.
Right, whatever version you like. It's just not a very common card right now.
Yeah. After this weekend, though, I anticipate it seeing a little bit of an uptick. So we're going to start things off with Avacyn's Pilgrim and Arbor Elf from our 2 players. Ed is going to be paying the 2 life on the more control-y end of things.
Nicholas Hoppesch, much different draw than his first game draw. Does have Triumph of Ferocity. Now, one thing about Triumph of Ferocity, in a tie, you win.
Right. I'm not sure I love that, because, he's going to get to draw a card here. There's Triumph of Ferocity at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. If you control the creature with the greatest power, or tied for the greatest power, which Avacyn's Pilgrim for Nicholas Hoppesch is. Ed Womble casting Farseek in order to go get Temple Garden. Or no, did he get a second Stomping Ground? In any case, he has his Naya lands all set up for him. Nicholas Hoppesch is going to trigger his Triumph and then draw for turn.
Smiter and Boros Reckoner from that.
Well, that's a halfway decent draw, wouldn't you say?
That's okay. We do see an Oblivion Ring in Nicholas Hoppesch's hand, so he has boarded that in. The Avacyn's Pilgrim attacks, a Rootsbound Crag puts into play, and we see a Smiter, 4/4. Thragtusk? Yes. The Thragtusk is going to make the Triumph not work this turn.
Well, he has Mizium Mortars.
Well, not this turn.
Right, not this turn. You're right.
Yeah. Another Rootbound
I'm not sure
Crag
that he
in
really
hand.
wants to be Mizium Mortars targeting Thragtusk, but it does turn the Triumph back on.
I don't think he minds either, just attacking with the Smiter, laying a Reckoner, and essentially turning back on his... boom, that works.
Yep.
Make a 3/3 attack with a 4/4. Block, says Ed. Just apparently content to make his life total be higher. 3-mana Reckoner. I'm kind of wondering if this is going to mean a Mizium Mortars or some such coming right now, or even a Terminus. Ed Womble does have Terminus in his sideboard.
I'm very confused by that block, actually. But Ed, I think, is leaning heavily on the Assemble the Legion he has in hand, which is going to get immediately Oblivion Ringed.
Assemble the Legion, pass. Okay, I think Nicholas might be in a position to take a quick game 2. Triumph of Ferocity draws him an extra card. Right now, the attack he can put forth will do 8 damage, knocking Ed down to 12.
Yeah, this doesn't look good for Ed.
Only 7 to preserve the mana from the Avacyn's Pilgrim. And I think we might see an Oblivion Ring and another Smiter, or maybe just an Oblivion Ring. That would make more sense for Oblivion Ring and Smiter.
Oblivion, yeah, for Paying Life, I believe Oblivion Ring Smiter is going to happen. And there it is. Ed is going to need something other than an Angel of Serenity off the top.
A Thragtusk would keep him alive.
Yeah, Mizzium Mortars would be halfway decent, even though it would deal him some damage from the Reckoner. Assuming he has a 6th land, which is not the case. Ed is going to pass with Restoration Angel in hand. Nicholas almost certainly knows that's the case.
Draw, Triumph for a free card. A Personal Howling Mine.
That's right. That card's very good. If you can't stop it from happening, there's just nothing you can do. It's obviously just better than Phyrexian Arena, better than Howling Mine.
Block. Trying to eat that Reckoner. The 3 damage redirect.
You're going to take 4, go to 9, and then 3 damage is going to go at
your face. I think he said your face.
Go to 6.
Boom.
Thragtusk.
Gains 5 life, lays another land. Thragtusk mocking him for having blocked.
With the Arbor Elf. Yep, and that's going to end game 2. So Nicholas ties things up. Ed now going directly into his sideboard because he has Oblivion Rings, and now that he sees that Nicholas's answer is Oblivion Ring to the Assemble the Legion, that's going to be the response, I do believe. Yeah, this is a kind of a strange matchup, since they've decided that Assemble the Legion is the fight worth having. We've agreed on gentlemen's terms that whoever has Assemble the Legion control wins the game. And so that time, though, I don't think Nicholas really cared all that much about Assemble the Legion, even if it had stayed in play, because it would have just made chump blockers, and he just kept playing 4/4s and 3/3s and other enormous animals. Certainly it helped, though. So Triumph of Ferocity coming in was not something I expected from Nicholas Hoppesch, but it was extremely good that time around. I think that he must just assume that correctly assume that Ed doesn't have, for example, Loxodon Smiter, and thinks that he has more 5 power creatures, which is the case. He does have more 5 power creatures, but he does not, at 5 mana, I should say, but he does not know that Ed has Angel of Serenity or Gruul Rage Beast to be able to trump said card advantage.
Right.
Ed's deck is a little strange in that it doesn't really have a card advantage engine other than Garrett Primal Hunter out of the sideboard. It doesn't really draw any cards. It just utilizes what it has on the board. Assemble the Legion, Mizzium Mortars, sometimes Angel of Serenity and Thragtusk getting 2 full ones and 3 full ones here and there. Whereas Nicholas Hoppesch's deck has Domery Raid in the main deck, as well as Triumph of Ferocity in the sideboard to try and garner more card advantage in matchups like this, where 1-for-1s and 2-for-1s trade back and forth somewhat evenly. So what do you think about Assemble the Legion going forward?
Oh, I mean, I was already excited about the card. One of the things about Assemble the Legion is that it ends games very quickly, and the exciting part about it, though, is it's not just a finisher. It's not just an over-the-top thing. What it also is a way to stay alive in the meantime. So, like, if you drop the Assemble the Legion early, you can actually use it to keep yourself alive for those subsequent turns until you just take over with the attack.
So Ed is going to have a turn 3 Huntmaster. Much better start for the Colonel Muster player. Nicholas does not have a turn 1 or 2 play. He will have a turn 3 play, as this deck is often wont to do. Either Loxodon Smiter or Boros Reckoner. He's going to go with the Reckoner.
We see a Garruk Relentless amongst the cards that Ed Womble has.
Garruk Primal Hunter.
Garruk Primal Hunter, thank you. Oblivion Ring on Reckoner
is going to allow Ed to attack for 5.
In they come. 1 mana shy of that Garruk Primal Hunter.
I think Ed's pretty content with just trying to slow Nicholas down as much as he possibly can. Loxodon Smiter comes in for Nicholas. Ed will be allowed to flip his Huntmaster here, and with Restoration Angel in hand, blink it back.
2 and 2. Struggling for mana.
Thundermaw.
Thundermaw Hellkite. In for 5.
That certainly changes things, whereas Ed was sort of not really on the super offense, but certainly the aggressor so far.
He takes 5, 13 to 15, and then at the end of the turn, turns the Huntmaster back into a Huntmaster from Ravager with a Restoration Angel, gains 2 life, gets another wolf.
There's the land he was looking for.
The Garruk a little less good now, but still not terrible. What else does he have in there? He's got a Restoration Angel?
He's got a Mizium Mortars as well.
Ooh,
2
nice.
of them.
So if he goes Mizium Mortars, there we go, on the Smiter. It's a huge attack here, coming in for 10 damage.
Now, he's not running Searing Spear. But if he were, Nicholas would be shaking in his boots.
And the flip. Now he cast a Mizium Mortars, though it's not going to flip.
That turn, so
yep, Mizium Mortars. Flip. I think what's happening here is Ed is describing why the life totals are what they are. He's doing 2 damage from the... This is earlier. He's letting the judge know that the judge has the life totals wrong.
Yes. Nicholas is going to need Bonfire or Mizium Mortars. Oh, he has Blasphemous Act.
What will the Blasphemous Act do? Does he have enough mana?
It'll wipe the board.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 less.
Yeah.
That'll make it cost a total of, I believe, 4? 3?
6. Yeah, it'll cost 3.
In for 5.
There's Blasphemous Act. 13 damage to each creature.
I love the 13 sub-theme in Innistrad.
Me too.
It's so good.
Yeah. With Tree of Redemption, Ludovic's Test Subject, Blasphemous Act, Into the Maw of Hell.
Yep.
It's awesome.
And whoosh.
There goes everybody.
Everybody dies.
Oblivion Ring coming through.
Pilgrim.
To take out the relevant Boros Reckoner that would have killed Ed out of nowhere there.
Ed takes 2 damage from a Temple Garden, lays Garruk Primal Hunter
to make a beast, which you would think would be fairly safe on an empty board, but unfortunately for him, Nicholas has Thundermaw number 2.
Goes to the face. Interesting here, because this does mean that Ed is going to have the opportunity to draw 3 cards at least to find a Thragtusk.
Assuming he doesn't already have one in hand, yeah.
It looks like he doesn't.
He does not, you're right. Yep, so we're going to draw 3. A little Harmonize action. He also can find an Oblivion Ring, or he can find another Mizium Mortars if he wants to 2-for-1 himself on Thundermaws.
Look at that, double Thragtusk. This guy's good.
Yep, that'll resolve. Thragtusk comes down, going up to 10. Now Nicholas has a Thragtusk as well in hand, by the way. But Reckoner might be the trump here. It's possible. I think that being at such a low life total, he wants to just play the Thragtusk.
In for 5, back down to 5. 5 to 5 here.
Yep, Thragtusk.
Thragtusk, 10 to 5. The life total's floppity flop.
Flip-flopping. Then they're going to do so again on Ed's turn. There's a Gruul Rage Beast from Ed Womble. Not good enough right now, not enough mana.
Okay. This precarious life here. Ed, at 5 life, has Thragtusk in hand, but that Thundermaw Hellkite is just chopping away lava axe after lava axe.
Yep. Ed can only has so many Thragtusks in his deck. He's going to need to be able to deal with the Thundermaw Hellkite at one point or another, and that's what Ed's sort of considering in his head, is he wants to get this Arbor Elf in play.
Right. Does he have a Restoration Angel in hand?
He does.
That means he can actually make that play you're talking about.
He can, yes.
Oh, backseat, fourth seas. Which one is it going to be?
Just going to be the Beast.
And Nicholas looks like he takes it.
We're gonna
a new beast is made.
Beast, and then we're going to play Avacyn's Pilgrim. Or, no, I'm sorry, Arbor Elf. And that means that if Ed top decks a land, he will be able to Rage Beast.
Oh, is that a Mizium Mortars?
That's a Mizium Mortars, yeah. Wow. That's pretty good.
Wow. If he casts a main phase Mizium Mortars. Wow. If he casts a main phase Mizium Mortars, that, I believe, forces Ed Womble to cast a Restoration Angel into death.
Yep.
Mizium Mortars with Overload. Ed must, in order to survive, cast his Restoration Angel to flicker his own Thragtusk, gaining 5 life, and then lose basically the whole board.
Nope.
Oh, okay. He has the chump ability here now. The Mizium Mortars kills everything. He will throw an angel in the way. That beast that did not go to the yard, it's just a shortcut. Yes, it died, and a new one was born. Here they come.
5 power attackers coming in.
And there's the chump block and the trade. Ed passes the beast helpfully over to Nicholas. Thragtusk in hand, we know about it.
Still going to need to find an answer to this Thundermaw Hellkite at some point or another.
Cavern of Souls.
Cavern of Souls. That's going to be able to help cast something, anything, with all of the 7 drops still available to Ed Womble.
Thragtusk to go back up to 10. Another beast from Garrick. And once again, Garrick now threatening next turn to draw 3-ish cards.
Names Angel, does that Cavern of Souls.
You want to attack him?
Well, if he doesn't, that means that Ed gets to draw 5 next turn, which I think is a pretty decent
Ooh,
play.
My God. Boros Reckoner. What a kick in the teeth to a player with Mizium Mortars in their hand.
Yeah, but Ed's going to get to draw 5, and he has a full play set of Angel of Serenity in his deck. So I don't think it's too bad. I think that what Ed does here is he draws 5. Hopes Nicholas has nothing.
It's still pretty precarious. 5 it is. 5 cards. That's what happens.
Now the other option, of course, is to fight with Rage Beast. We can fight the Thundermaw Hellkite.
I think I see a Huntmaster.
I'm pretty sure Rage Beast is the play here.
You know, I think that...
Here he is. Rage Beast.
Boom!
Tyler Durden.
Gruul Rage Beast. What does that card do? Makes me smile and you frown.
When Gruul Rage Beast or any other creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature fights target creature and opponent controls. That Rage Beast is a 6/6. It's going to take out the 5/5 Thundermaw Hellkite, reach up and smash it against the wall.
Is that a blasphemous act?
It is, and that's a Boros Reckoner.
13 damage. Womp, womp, womp.
Well, there's that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's all he needs. And that's the game.
Oh, a hard
That is a pretty good top deck for Nicholas Hoppesch. Impressive Gruul Rage Beast, but not impressive enough. Nicholas Hoppesch moves on. Ed Womble